The Innovation Center for Artificial Intelligence is a national initiative focused on joint talent and technology development between academia, industry and governmental organizations. ICAI's mission is to keep the Netherlands at the forefront of knowledge and talent development in AI, creating and nurturing a national AI knowledge and talent ecosystem. We want to contribute to a sustainable economic growth while preserving the values and ethical aspects of AI. AI has a major impact on the future. We want to preserve our independence of international foreign tech companies and retain control over how AI is developed. Combining the right talent with the right challenges, we create a strong position in the area of AI. 6 building blocks create the foundation of ICAI. With these 6 initiatives, we want to attract new challenges and feed ecosystems with locally developed talent and knowledge, and make sure the Netherlands will stay a strong European catalyst in the field of AI. Join us in growing AI in the Netherlands. Visit ICAI.ai.
A very good afternoon and welcome here from the beautiful city of 's-Hertogenbosch. My name is Maarten de Groot. I'm the host for this afternoon and I will guide you through a program that celebrates the 3rd anniversary of ICAI. And you have seen in the video what it all entails. What we discussed today is how we can enlarge the impact of AI on society and what ways there are to inspire the ecosystem. We do that by a first word of welcome of the scientific director in a moment. Then we move on to a discussion that we have with KPN. And we will see how the cooperation has been experienced over the past year. Then we have a breakout groups where you can all visit one of the 3 different locations. Then we continue with a talk show. We have a second round of breakout sessions. Again, 3 new locations you can choose from. And we finish off around 4:30 here with a concluding remarks and some closing remarks. That's what we do at the end. As you can see here, to underline the festive notion of this meeting, we have sent all of you a packet of bossenbollen. It's a do-it-yourself with Dutch instructions. The English ones will follow tomorrow, I've been told. We have them ready-made here, and if you already prepared them, then please enjoy so during the meeting. That's what they are for. If not, you can do it later, and of course then you have a sweet reminder of this session. 3 practical notes I would like to share with you. As this is a Zoom call where all participants can also unmute, I would like to remind you that you can keep your mics muted at all times unless you were asked to turn them on. The video, it would be nice to see everyone involved and to have a sense of live audience, live responses. So it would be nice if you keep your video on. Mics are muted, and if you want to contribute to the discussion, please use the chat in order to do so. And the remarks and questions that are put in the chat will also come to me, and if we have time for it, we will also include them in the discussion. That's it for this afternoon. I give the floor to Maarten de Rijke. He is Scientific Director of ICAI. And first of all, Maarten, congratulations with this 3rd anniversary. It's a huge milestone. I give you the floor to give a presentation and then I ask you a few questions.
Great. Thank you so much, Nathan. So thank you all for joining us. For many of us, these are, of course, challenging times, but at ICAI, we're optimistic. So we are very optimistic that better weather is ahead of us and that it's just around the corner. Now, as we mark this 3rd birthday of ICAI, we feel it's important that ICAI continues to make a difference in AI in the Netherlands through our talent, through the knowledge that we create, and also the knowledge that we share. So we're very glad that you could join us today. For some updates and also to get to know us better and all the things we do and the ambitions that we have. So our key belief at ICAI is that AI can help to address some of the big societal challenges of our time, whether they're in health, in security, climate, finance, society itself. We think that with AI technology, we can do a better job at tackling those challenges. Now, to put this idea to work, to put our mission to work, we hold these three key values close to heart. So we put talent at the core of our innovations. We energize, we catalyze public-private knowledge creation in AI. And we're very much about doing stuff, learning by doing, setting up experiments, trying things out, failing, and trying again with better methods, better algorithms. Our labs are an essential instrument for this. They're not the goal. They're really an instrument for us to reach our goals of making a difference for societal challenges. In our labs, what do? We attract talent, we train the talent, we help talent create new knowledge, feed the knowledge to the local ecosystem, to the national ecosystem. And we do this, of course, with talent from all over the planet, with junior colleagues, senior colleagues. We think these labs offer great opportunities across the board and for lots of different organizations. What's interesting also is that these labs are wonderful places for all sorts of stakeholders to take high-risk investments and to do this together. So not just the government, not just industry, not just knowledge institutes, not just societal organizations, but all together, making high-risk investments to develop new knowledge and to master these technologies. So multi-stakeholder is key to our labs. It's not just academia, it's not just industry, it's together around a shared research agenda. 5 PhD students or more. And in some of the labs, we have 12, 15 people, junior and more senior, working together, creating tomorrow's AI solutions. So what I'd like to do now is give you a very brief update on our labs. And I couldn't be more proud of our labs and of where we are with them. So we now have 24 labs. Our most recent lab was opened just 2 weeks ago on AI in the context of mobility. We had another lab just opened a week before that on AI solutions for lots of cognitive impairments. And so just these 2 examples go to illustrate that, yes, we do have big societal challenges, but we're also building solutions together. What's happening over the next few weeks, the next few months, we should be able to open another 6 labs, and we'll make sure that you find out about this. So it's fundamental AI knowledge development, inspired by use cases, real use cases, and also using the context provided by the problem owners in society to measure our solutions, to evaluate them, to see how good we're doing, to experiment in health, in mobility, in services, in finance, in media. Where are we? Well, around 200 academic talents have a home now in our labs. Over 60 companies play a role in the labs, sponsoring them, providing use cases, providing data, making use of the knowledge that's being created. A handful of public organizations, think of governmental organizations, could be local, a city, or could be national, and 10 knowledge institutes in 7 cities. The work isn't done. We're building as we go along, so these numbers that I just showed, they're going to go up even in the next few weeks, next few months, and they'll go up by much more over the next few years. So moving forward, this is our slogan, aan de slag, do stuff, do something, with our partners in industry, in academia, in government, connecting our knowledge to the local ecosystem, the national ecosystem, with our labs, our startups, and our venture initiative. So I invite you to take part in this afternoon, shop around, look around, and be inspired.
All right. Thank you very much, Maarten. I have a question that is not about numbers. It's about your personal feelings about what you achieved as scientific director. What are you most proud of so far?
Thanks for the question. So when we started, we felt not enough was done around AI knowledge development and talent development. So 3 years ago, and then you take initiative. Yeah. And so what I'm most proud of is that this is an initiative not just by myself or a few colleagues myself, but it's an initiative now with lots of colleagues around the country. Yeah. Everyone sees this opportunity, sees the need, and goes for the challenge. So that I'm most proud of, this attitude.
Yeah, the attitude goes beyond ICAI. As I've seen, there's a Dutch AI coalition, and one question in the chat was, what is the relation between ICAI and this coalition?
Right, ICAI is very much a bottom-up initiative shaped around these labs as instrument, not as objective, but as instrument. We're now receiving a bit of funding from the National AI Coalition, for instance, to run this day. Yeah. But other than that, it's all bottom-up initiative. Of course, we work with the National AI Coalition to strategize, to see where the gaps are, to see, to share our lessons, to also see where we should be going together.
Okay, and speaking of going together somewhere, over the past 3 years, has the ambition of ICAI changed in direction?
Well, of course, first of all, when we started, we needed to find a good format, those labs, and what works, what doesn't work. And as you build, you fail, you succeed, you write down the lessons, you share the lessons. We're beginning to see our first PhD students reach the finish of the lab, right, of their labs. And so then the next step has to be taken, namely we've attracted talent, we've developed the talent, we've trained them. Now our next job is to retain the talent. Make sure these people that have come from all over the planet to join us will now stay with us. We'll take their next step somewhere in the Netherlands with a big company, a small company, a startup, a university, a governmental organization. So that's an activity that wasn't needed in the beginning, but now that's an activity that we're heavily investing in. So doing AI talent retainment.
All right. I have another question from the chat. Let's see if this is the place to answer it. I'm not quite sure because it's content related. What is the position of ICAI on the proposal for a regulation on a European approach for artificial intelligence?
Right. So that was leaked a couple of days ago and today published broadly. It's a complex document which is good in the sense that it determines our own principles. I'm not sure it strikes completely the right balance between regulating and facilitating.
Okay, so we'll leave it at that, and we will study it in more detail and come maybe later on with a more substantial analysis. Yeah. That's for now. All the time we have is for one more question, and that is, of course, the question: why are we here? And here in this beautiful chapel at JADS, what is the role of JADS and the significance of that?
Well, as I said, we started locally in Amsterdam with a few colleagues, but I'm really proud to see that many other colleagues around the country picked up the ideas, also empowered their own local ecosystem with new initiatives. And JADS is a wonderful example of this, where, of course, there's been a long tradition around data science, public-private partnership, SMEs. And so JADS, one of the labs that JADS now has was founded about a year ago, the KPN Responsible AI Lab, and I think it's a wonderful lab, a wonderful example of how a knowledge institute, or actually multiple knowledge institutes, and a company can work together on some of the biggest challenges.
All right.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here, and that's why we're also going to look at some of the PhD candidates in a minute. Thank you very much for your introduction. We'll get back to you, Maarten, at the end of this session to see if we reach our goals that we set out. We will now continue with a video where the Dutch international PhD students that are related to JADS and that work on projects, research projects for KPN, will be introduced. And after that, we will discuss this with 2 stakeholders from KPN.
Welcome to JADS. JADS is hosting the Responsible AI Lab of KPN and JADS together, and it's focusing on responsible AI, which is very important nowadays in society to make sure that AI is contributing to society rather than damaging society. In this video, you will see interviews with our PhD researchers that will explain their research, and they will also indicate the social relevance and the contributions to industry.
My name is Daniil, and originally I'm from Russia. My research is about understanding the impact of batch learning in sequential decision-making problems based on multi-unbounded framework.
My name is Nemanja Borovic, and I come from Greece. If I could describe my research in one sentence, it would be privacy preservation in AI systems.
My name is Rastislav Hronsky, and I'm from Slovakia. My research is about making text analytics methods appreciate the fact that language is not a universal concept for everyone, but people use it in unique ways.
My name is Georgios Vlasopoulos. I'm from Greece. I could describe my research with a single sentence, and that would be the following question. How can we communicate the predictions of complex artificial intelligence systems to a user by approximating their behavior with something simpler, with a simple interpretable model?
My research is about explanation of decisions in times of AI.
My main finding is that batch learning is very demanding nowadays. We see the increasing growth of data, and it would be really beneficial to do it in batches to aggregate these observations.
When analyzing human communication, verbal communication, it can be useful to be able to recognize the level of familiarity with a certain topic of the parties involved in the communication, which could be, for example, the way a person is comfortable with technical terms in a conversation. And that might be useful for agents dealing with problems of customers.
Working with artificial intelligence in the business world, you have mainly one main constraint. This constraint regards that you find yourself in a situation where your data is siloed and cannot be used due to legal constraints. So with my research, I will try to maximize data utility for KPN in order to deliver privacy-aware solutions satisfying their customer needs to the maximum.
But I think any big player in this field, and especially big players in the field of important public services, should be interested to know what it means to act according to public values in the sense of explainable practices. So I think any explication of those problems as they are currently raised would help any player in the field, and KPN is one of them.
If we are about to live in a data-driven world that we trust predictions blindly, especially when these predictions refer to a human subject, that can be very potentially dangerous for a society, for a future society. And that's what I personally want to contribute and make a small step towards the direction of using AI responsibly through these explainability algorithms.
Enterprises find themselves in a situation where they have a lot of data, and they cannot use it, or they are afraid of using it because this data may be compromised.
So the challenge remains to find or manage to reasonably combine and make use of existing methods in text analytics in order to accomplish the goal of personalization and to find clever ways of covering the ways people think about language and the ways people use language and perceive language.
More generally, I would like to improve personalized techniques in sequential decision-making problems.
It is possible, even for very complex problems, like image recognition, for example, to explain the predictions of an artificial intelligence system by approximating its local decision boundary.
It is hard because it has just started. So there are a lot of challenges from the technical perspective because the ethical principles are really important and have to be respected always.
Current decision makers and explainers, they are currently challenged. They are asked to work with systems that they don't sufficiently understand sometimes. What does this mean for us to justify our decision making currently? How do we do that when we don't understand these systems sufficiently ourselves?
I wish to be a part of the movement towards responsible AI, which is going to be the main issue to be addressed for the next decade.
What I like in collaboration between KPN and university is that I have supervisors with whom I can discuss the theoretical bits of my research. And at the same time, I can talk to people who use things I'm working on in real life.
Parts that I found very useful in my collaboration with KPN were the moments where I could disseminate my research and get into discussions with people from KPN, but also with people from the broader research network that is being established or has been established by now.
This collaboration gives me the opportunity to bridge the theoretical parts of my research with the practical applications.
Really being in contact with both of them on a like day-by-day basis is a valuable experience because it allows me to see into both worlds simultaneously, and I think that's quite unique. Not everyone has that opportunity.
I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're interested in more details about our research, you can consult the JADS website, jads.nl/research. Thank you very much and goodbye.
And we are back in 's-Hertogenbosch with two members of KPN here at the table. I would like to first ask to Winifred Andriessen, next to me on my left, on your right. What is your connection to the lab that we've just seen and the people in the video?
Yeah, well, KPN is in favor of open innovation, and we work a lot together with other parties. Because the technology is changing very fast, and also the societal development. So, in order to keep track of that, we work together with other parties. We invest in scale-ups. We work together with them, but also with knowledge institutes. So we want to bring parties together on certain innovation teams that we found important.
Yeah.
One of those innovation teams is AI. And it's about sharing knowledge. We want to acquire the knowledge more faster, and that's where we work with Knowledge Institute.
Yeah.
And for us, it's important to apply AI in a responsible way.
Yeah. And what is your role at KPN, so that everyone knows from the perspective that you're looking at?
I'm responsible for the Advanced Analytics Department, so we work for our commercial consumer department, the business department for the business market, and also for our operations and network department. Yeah. So we have a centralized department, so I do all the cases for whole KPN. And I want to do that in a responsible way.
I can imagine. All right. Then the responsible AI is very supportive, I can imagine. I also talked to you, Gianluigi Bardioli. What is your role at KPN and how is that connected to the lab?
Yeah, I am one of the team lead of the data science lab at KPN, mostly focused on customer intent recognition and digitalization. And I also are responsible to foster research collaboration with JADS in the first place, but also other knowledge institute like University of Amsterdam through the Amsterdam Data Science Network.
Okay, it sounds like a win-win situation where both KPN and JADS win from this lab. What is the main advantage that you see for both parties?
Yeah, as I said, we want to apply it in a responsible way, and for us that is that we respect compliance, we strive for fairness, and we want to maximize the transparency. Yeah. And in order to do that, you need a multidisciplinary approach. So you not only want to understand the technology, but you also want to be it in a societal. It should fit the society, and that's why JADS comes in place, because they combine not only social studies and law, and also, of course, the technology. And that helps us to really understand the power of AI, but also transforming that power into value for our customers, but also the society at large.
Yeah. All right. So we all see the benefits from it one day, you could say.
Yeah, well, now already we apply it for energy management to optimize the energy of our data centers and the network, and also for our fiber rollout. We really want every household within as less time as possible connected to fiber.
Especially in these times, I can imagine that is vital, yes?
Getting more important day by day.
Exactly. Gianluigi, what did you learn as a team leader over the past year? Because the lab started more or less 1 year ago, last summer. What are some lessons that you learned?
Yeah, I would like to share 3 learning points mostly. And the first one is basically fundamental. It has been fundamental for us provide company data access to the PhD students right away and put them in contact on a regular basis with our business owners and business analysts. In that way, those students had the possibility to really acquire a good understanding of our challenges that sometimes we have in delivering our services. And from there, they could sharpen their research direction. For example, Radislav, you just heard about him, he was collaborating with our customer contact analytics team, and he got exposed to a transcription of chat and calls from our customers. And then he could appreciate what is the challenge in, for example, reducing the time we spend during a call, but also reducing the repeated calls of our customer. That triggered him to develop some kind of research line. One was about assessing the semantic similarity across those transcription, and also the new line is about how can we understand how technically savvy a customer is based on his or her lexicon or communication style. In that way to somehow instruct the agent later on down the line how to cope better with that. The second important point was to get inspired by the PhD students themselves. They have a lot of intellectual curiosity, a lot of enthusiasm, and we have profited from them by having them indeed almost on a daily basis collaborate with our data science team. Another example is Nemanja, you have seen in the video, is mainly focus is on privacy-preserving techniques, and he was very instrumental during a recent prototype pilot that we did, where we were evaluating on the market for synthetic data solution, and he was basically helping us in defining validation script, evaluation measures that allowed us to indeed understand which vendor, first of all, if the solution were viable, and which of the vendors was best. The last but also very important points is that having those the PhD student collaborating with us, also have them mentoring other master thesis students, and all of them together with our data scientists basically contributed to create a very conducive environment, a very inspiring environment. Even now then in this social distancing times, all the online communication channels were enough to really build up the spirit of a community. That's what's really important for us.
Okay, I can imagine that KPN has enough data for a lot more data scientists, and as a team lead at the same time you are limited, of course, in time. Is it the more the merry? Is there enough challenges left for, let's say, 50 more PhDs?
That would be very welcome, but indeed, it's a matter of investment, and we are glad that in the realm of ICAI Lab, there will be possibility following the long-term program. I'm sure Maarten will mention that later on. So indeed, it's a collaboration which is bound to last for the next years, maybe decades.
Okay. Well, that's...
PhD are always welcome with us.
Okay.
Internship as well.
Yeah. Well, before we paint a too bright of a picture, let's also see if this is causing some friction between academia and the daily business. Do you see the interaction going always smoothly, or is there sometimes also some conflicts?
So at least this year so far, I haven't seen a lot of conflicts. From a personal perspective, I always say to those students, the master thesis students, your research is first, but we are here to learn together. And if we want this to last, we need to have some mutual benefits. And we are proud also as KPN to be able to increase the knowledge and share that. That's why our collaboration through consortium in that sense. But so far, I would say, I never have the case in which we said, someone said, no, I cannot do that because I have a deadline. And where is that? We accept and we go on with the other people. So it's
and I think that's why we try to keep them close.
Yeah.
So we have, I think, half yearly an event where all the PhDs working for KPN, not only for JADS, come together and present to each other. So we really want to invite them to give already some insights to prove to everybody that it's not, we have not to wait for 4 years.
Okay.
And you heard by the examples of Jheronimus that they really can contribute already. And that's also important for us.
Okay, we already discussed the future. What is the potential then that is left at KPN for this theme of the lab, responsible AI? What is the potential in the context of the ICAI lab? Do you see it grow exponentially, also with regards, for instance, to this news of the EU regulation? Perhaps you can both reflect on that.
Yeah, for 2 points. One is that for the, we mentioned already the pillars of compliancy and transparency and fairness. Above that, we have a data streaming platform on which we innovate and can do the use cases. I think you can tell more about it.
Yeah, indeed, we call it Data Services Hub. This is an infrastructure which basically can accept streaming events from a plethora of application sensors and the like. And the idea is that on this platform, all these events streaming in, there are several users completely independently and autonomously. They can consume those events, process them, decide which data to share with other users, and then, of course, produce some insight, some value out of those data, and share this value with external users. So it's a very complex and powerful platform that we are using already for internal use cases. I've mentioned the customer contact analytics part. We are also starting up predictive maintenance modeling for our networks and the modems of our customer, for example. And we just started, and Daniel is an example of that, in terms of real-time marketing interaction. Yeah. So it's internal, we use it, but the nice part is also this is available for external users for the society. Actually, the whole platform started some years ago for a governmental-backed project, the intelligent traffic. Anything basically based on Internet of Things can rely on this platform. And basically, the focus that we have on compliance, fairness, and transparency will ensure that, first of all, we use the data in a respectful way, according to regulation, that we try to minimize biases in the data, either in the input data generated by the algorithm, and we are able to explain the decision made by the model in a transparent way. You've seen Georgios, you have heard before. All in all, actually, the big potential also internally for us is that basically we are reusing this approach on these pillars also for our internal activities. You know, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, and the point you mentioned about the EU legislation coming up, we also made an AI governance program that really look, okay, what are the rules and the processes in an AI project? So we really described all the roles and responsibilities. And we have an AI assessment process in place so that we assess the AI on possible impact. And we are working on a model registry so that we know not only all the models we make ourselves, but also in the future, the models we are acquiring or are in software that we buy, that we also have an overview of that. So already preparing for, I think, we don't know where it goes exactly because it's only just arrived yesterday. but to prepare for that we have our internal processes in place based on, again, the pillars from the responsible AI.
It seems that you picked a well-selected theme, responsible AI, that you can use in a sustainable way for the next future. There are how many viewers? More than 120 viewers, and perhaps some of them also are connected to one of the labs, or perhaps wanting to set up or contribute to a lab. What is the piece of advice that you have based on your own experience? Perhaps you made a mistake, or you made, you learned a lesson that they can benefit from.
Yeah, for sure, it's estimated with the interaction we create with the PhD student. Yeah. We started at the beginning more in a kind of attending role, okay? We trust the students, they will come with something. But actually, we have seen, and as I mentioned before, it's really crucial to have almost continuous interaction with them so that our people can benefit from their enthusiasm. And at the end, indeed, set up an environment where you can get inspired by those people, because the energy that they bring is really something new. Yeah. And so you create really a community with that. That, I think, is the best advice.
So to get in touch on a daily basis almost, to really create this community. Yeah. All right, and Winifred, what is your piece of advice?
Well, that would also be my main advice, because it's also a proposition for the data scientists that work for us, that they can have knowledge sharing. So invest in knowledge sharing events together. Put them, I mean, they give each other the energy and they learn from each other. So that's still my most important advice. And stay close to, of course, to the business problem we want to solve. So this was really an innovation theme that we choose. Okay, we want to innovate and work and roll parties together on this theme.
Yeah. Well,
seeing the regulation, it was the right subject.
It was a good pick, indeed.
It was a good pick.
Yeah, and this time also we can, of course, discuss the definition, but if it comes to knowledge sharing events, I think we are right at this moment contributing to it. So thank you very much for your contributions today. And if people want to contact you, they probably know how to find you, and perhaps you can later on answer some questions in the chat. Thanks for this moment, Winifred and Gianluigi. For now, I would like to talk to all the participants in this chat and tell you that the different locations in the Netherlands is, of course, a very red thread in this day. It's a common theme. JADS is one of them, and we are here, but it doesn't mean that the other locations do not play a role. In fact, the breakout rooms that you're about to visit are located in 3 different cities, and the other 3 different cities in which there are labs are in the second breakout room. So the first ones are Amsterdam, Nijmegen, and Utrecht, and you can pick the breakout room of your choice by selecting them in the screen in a moment. Before, however, if you have any problems or if you join the Zoom call on a web browser, we might need to assign you later on manually. There are Zoom moderators at place here that can help you out with that. And once you are in this breakout room, you will stay there for half an hour. The locations have set up a program independently, so it's going to be a surprise pick. And after half an hour, we'll meet you back here because there will be a talk show in which I talk to 3 different guests at this table, and where we discuss AI and startups and ecosystems. For now, I wish you a good round of breakout rooms. So once again, pick your city, pick your location. It's going to be either Amsterdam, Utrecht, or Nijmegen in this case. And in this breakout room, you will learn more about what the location is currently developing and doing. I see you back here in half an hour, and I wish you a lot of fun in the different cities.